Sport Billy with a great Garrosh, also some pretty good Jaina plays. Is there anything we feel like is a must take away from Team Liquid heading into the next game?
Not necessarily. I feel like when they're talking about the front line and the way that they're splitting, I would rather have them commit, BTG that is, rather commit to an early Diablo than going for the Muradin here again. You can make plays with Muradin, but I feel you need a stronger follow-up for it. The burst damage that Red pointed out a bit earlier when we were looking at the draft is a really good example of that. If you only rely on the auto attacks, you just can't capitalize on the CC as much. And in that setup where we have especially squishies in the backline, if you get some kind of flanker collapse and have burst damage to follow it up and get a quick kill, then maybe those team fights look different. But Liquid never gave them the time to really secure a kill and then walked away with kills on their own.
I think the biggest thing for me is not so much maybe a removal on the side of Liquid as it's just BTG, you can't draft post 10. It's unrealistic at this point in time to be able to set a goal to be like, I'm going to stay on the same page up into the 10th threshold. And because of that, anything that gives them early game ability to get some kind of aggression and be able to get a kill in that situation, I think that's where they'll find that moment where it's like, here's one pick, here comes a mercenary, and now we can maybe make that death ball look effective. But to go for the 13-minute fight down the road with my Sergeant Hammer and Reyna, I think is far too unrealistic here considering the teams.
I agree, because we're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen for Game 2 between these teams. It's Europe on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And though sometimes you could see the very long-term comeback plays happen, you hoard your gems like your life depends on it, because it kind of does. And then you turn them in a bunch at once and then start taking structures down, get that comeback experience the other way, get ahead, maybe get ahead and win with 20. I don't really see BTG doing that versus Team Liquid, guys.
And on top of that, Liquid in Europe had several games where they were the ones on the receiving end of the punishment for a long time and then still turned the games around towards the end. So it's not like they don't know how to come back into these games. But I absolutely agree. I expect them more so to be the dominant force at the start and try to go for that European double turn and then snowball the game.
It's another good Jaina map, too.
And they played Jaina here already, exactly.
I know. For Tomb, though, for BTG, they haven't played it yet at this tournament. Any specific picks you want for that early game, Dread?
Already, they just banned out their 1 and 2 of what I would have liked to see in the early game from BTG if I was on their side. Garrosh, I can see you pulling away from because of the necessity of having wave clear on a battleground like Tomb, but Tyrande would have been a very big focus that I would have liked to see them collect for themselves. But at least they did not give an early game spike over to Liquid and found themselves a reasonable early game aggressor there with the Diablo, but I think there's still a lot more needed than pre-10 from them.
Also, I want to highlight something because we are talking about in the last game about Reyna, who's now also again picked for Team Liquid in this case. And we talked about how Reyna oftentimes really controls the tank on the other side and tries to stop the engages. We actually at BTG sometimes play even a frontline Reyna where he just walks up into a Garrosh without even pushing him back, is basically the frontline for the team, gets flipped and killed, and stuff like that just can't happen. I expect in this game now Reyna to have way more control over how BTG can engage into these games, and whenever there's a flank server happening, a penetrating round to come out, to be safe, the cooldown to be reserved for exactly that opportunity. And then you can capitalize on it by following it up with the slows and the seals on the side of Deck Arcane. So I think right now that's going to be a very different interplay.
And Diablo, yes, he can be aggressive, but it takes time for him to stack up souls. And if you guys recall, a lot of game 1 between Miracle and Team Liquid was putting a ton of pressure on Judy early on, constant poke with the Rainer versus the Diablo, and that's something BTG is going to have to contend with. Bans coming in, rolling in, and Malfurion taken away by Team Liquid, leaving up maybe the possibility of a white main, and then Urel's going to be the ban against TL as they bring back in their Phoenix and then Johanna.
Liquid's just playing the very slow, safe, wave clear, siege capability, Tomb of the Spider Queen comp, and honestly, rightly so at this point. I feel like one of the picks that might be a necessity for BTG is a Jaina. It gives them the wave clear capability, but then still the kill potential. They need to find a way to get past this Iron Skin Johanna and into the backline in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, the macro and siege is going to be problematic here. And the answer is a Ghoul Dam, but that just matches 1-to-1 and lacks that kill potential pre-10, and that is pretty much the exact theory I was hoping to see them deviate from here in this draft.
If they can at least play around the Stukov and the Lurking Arm, they might be able to secure a kill there somewhere.
Yeah, that's a
if
good
they
point.
get a good CC chain, get the silence in, and then capitalize on that.
Ooh.
The one thing that I would have really liked them to do, though, is ban out Johanna over Urel. I really feel it was just so telegraphed from the get-go that Liquid wants to go for Johanna here, and if you ban that out, then you basically force them to at least consider Muradin or any kind of hyper-aggressive strategy around an Anuburak, and I think that's easier for BTG to deal with. So now we have even added wave clear on top of that, and BTG is going to have a tough time.
Yeah, they can't get Garrosh for the combos. They've already shown they like Johanna here. Now Johanna and Leoric, which is pretty old school itself, but then that is just a ton of wave clear to do so much with the siege of the web weavers on top of that.
And as
clear it out.
And as the game moves on, not only is it a winning matchup for the Leo instead of the Blaze, one of the few characters that can actually beat the Blaze. So now it's a winning 1-4 and it's a winning 1 and a winning 4 for Liquid. Then they have the safe play, and then you go, well, where's the detriment in the late game? Can the Gul'dan end up getting that horrifying that kill? And Leo is a direct counter to that. Sack the Leo, wait for the late game, and Liquid's comp thrives in that type of environment. So I feel like Beyond the Game has so much to prove here.
You also add even more slows that Phoenix can capitalize on. You have the Entomb later on as a setup, and you have the Drain against Diablo himself. So yeah, great choice for them on the offlane.
I wonder how ready BTG would be for an Entomb. Maybe Tetra can give us more information from that, because China does play a lot of March of the Black King.
Yeah, they play so much that you're right. It might not be something that they are able to maybe kind of handle there as we take a look in here with Arcana's family once more.
We got it right this time.
We nailed it.
Thank you so much for coming out and supporting Arcana all the way across the world. And thank you, all of you guys who are here hanging out with us, who've been here every day of opening week. It's ridiculous. It's awesome. I'm loving it. You guys are so wonderful in supporting. It's been a great opening week, guys.
It's been really good.
Yeah.
Good games too.
Yeah. Looking forward to this one. You think BTG's got a chance? What are our odds here?
I'm gonna let him
Come
speak
on.
first.
Come on,
we'll let the
Caldor.
German bias come out first, and then I'll hit.
0.
Oh man. All right. I don't know if I would go that drastic, but I would put it a solid 70-30 in favor of Liquid here.
30?
I think, okay, view it this world. You go dead even to the 10 mark, this comp can hold its own. I
mean,
just go Liquid's probably going to get the 10 advantage a little bit too hard.
I'll give them 2 things they can do. Horrify is one, and the combo around the Stuk of Silence. But 30, if one of the players has a birthday today and you didn't tell me about it, then please tell me now, because that I think is still generous.
Well, don't forget, Dreadnought's an LLK fan. LLK is like the new awesome player, best player, I think, from the BTG video, or best new player. Guys, we saw a Stukov here. We're seeing a Stukov, and I'm excited to see that Stukov for reals. Let's go over to Tetra and Trixler for game 2.
I'm Arcana's family, and so is my wife, as we are preparing to head into game number 2. To answer the Leoric Entomb, we used to see it a lot last year, and we do see it very on occasion this year, but
experience.
It is weird. Like, I agree in the fact it is weird the amount of March of the Black King over Entomb we have been seeing, but they should be prepared enough for it.
And another thing, I have to shame Caldor. Caldor, I know we've been separated for a couple of days, but give them a little bit more hope. BTG has wave clear. They've got some late game. It's 2018, Caldor. Show a little care bear. It's okay.
I thought we were friends, Caldor.
Oh, we were friends too, Caldor. We'll have to talk about this later on after the show. Let's go ahead and go into the game, though. Here on the left side, in the blue, it's going to be BTG. 365 on Stukov. Gonna have LLK on Gul'dan, Lockdar on Blaze, 619 on Diablo, and Dancing to play some Hanzo.
And on the right-hand side, currently 1-0 up, hailing from Europe, and already through to tomorrow, through to BlizzCon. It is Team Liquid, with Phoenix played by Arcana, Eternal on Leoric, Hasselhoff's on Raider, Nuruk on Decade Kane, and Sport Billy is on Johanna.
So there is some major worry here for BTG, but I also think there is some upper hands for the late game. You have the Diablo that can get soul stacked up pretty nicely. You got the Bunker for the team fights. You got Gul'dan's Horrify, which was mentioned by Caldor, Dread, and Gilly. It is definitely a composition that can perform. The main question is whether or not Team Liquid is just going to run them down the early game and open the map too much, because double turn-ins are a tried and true tradition in Europe.
That they are, if you can get the first turn in and snowball it. Like you said, it's been since the first season of HGC, maybe even a little before that as well with the old Fnatic style. We're starting off with the Fetid Touch coming in from 365. It became a little bit more common in China for a while post the most recent round of Stukov nerfs. But it's still interesting to see being busted out here. I guess if you're on this small of a map with very strong rotations, you're quite likely to get it stacked quite quickly.
You'll have a lot of W's, that's for sure. BTG, though, in the middle, not having all their members. It's Team Liquid. Opens up with a fight here in the middle, and they get a quick pick there on top of Diablo. And remember, in that early game, he's not stacked yet. He is definitely a juicy target.
He is a squishy boy at the moment. With only 14 souls, he has a long way to go. Even before that Feast on Fear is going to give him any kind of healing output here. New habits as well for Blaze once as well. He also is going to need to stack up a fair amount before he even gets safe from this gank squad, so he needs to play quite safe for now. And of course, he's against the Leorix, so percentage damage is going to give Blaze a pretty rough time in lane. But on the bright side, Gul'dan's having a pretty fun time so far with 10 stacks already.
Part of that fight that did happen is that Diablo, while was kiting backwards, LOK was able to drop down Corruptions, and he's got a total of 10 stacks, as you mentioned, trying to build towards that 40, which is pivotal, especially as you build towards that level 16. You want to have that Corruption stack finish up, the Ruinous Affliction, comboed together. Typically can one-shot backliners, and a Phoenix, if you're able to land on top of him and his shields are about halfway down, you actually can kill him straight out.
It's exactly what you want to see. Deckard Cain as well. Obviously, the potions are not AoE unless you take that talent, so you've got to make sure you're prioritizing targets right. And when it's tick damage, it can be hard to find that right target. 619 is having deja vu, but eats a big chunk of healing thanks to the fountain and Slicker.
Now, here's something that's happened is Team Liquid went for an early night camp, and they got that pushing in the middle, and they got a wall for this. Typically, a response for this is to either clear it out and do your night camp afterwards, or be in the middle of doing your night camp and then have it come and defend. BTG didn't either. They were actually too late for that, and therefore they're going to get their night camp and have that push afterwards. But Team Liquid is feeling very comfortable, so comfortable they even spread Phoenix down in the bottom lane and got another kill.
Very nice start here by Team Liquid. This is exactly what I said at the start as well, that until the new habits is completed, Lockdown needs to play safer, but in this case, he gets himself caught out in lane. The rest of BTG rotate down. See that Arcana is doing that camp, and they're able to dissuade Ethernal, and that is enough to shut down that camp being taken. As level 4 is available for both teams, we're seeing another China special, the Biotic Armor, coming in here for the Stukov, that extra physical armor.
China and their builds, man.
This is definitely the most China build game we've had so far.
I mean, there's always a good positive look at this, right? You get that 15 physical armor, right? And that's something that you want to be able to spread to your teammates. And of course, there is a bonus when you get that kill switch going forward as well. Yeah, which is nice to have against a Rainer, right?
And a Phoenix.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're looking at the composition, you're like, yeah, this works, but it's so unusual.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's very, very different there, but they will be able to have the sustain. They will be able to have the damage reduction coming their way, so that is a goal for them. But the thing is also, you got to make sure that spread happening in the middle of a team fight, which can be kind of hard to pull off with the Stukov. But we'll see if BTG can pull it off. For now, 27 gems have been dropped off by Team Liquid, and the deaths that have come already from BTG, in particular that bottom lane, has hurt them. They only have 37 gems available.
619 gets rooted. He's only got 65 souls, but he's able to survive.
Oh, big silence!
Healing Paladin, the turnaround silence. Like you said, taking out Phoenix.
And Gul'dan continuing to stack up to 17, and BTG feeling comfortable about that one here. If only they had enough gems to go for a direct turn-in. They do have 43 now of the 50 they need, but at least they're showing some fight here as they find their first kill of the game.
15 stacks on simple geometry, not the fastest stacking in the world, but he's keeping a pretty reasonable pace, so he should be available by level 7 or close to, by the time the next team fight, by the time the first turn starts to happen. But BTG need to keep guarding this turn-in points because Liquid have enough for the turn-in, whereas BTG, they are still 6 away, 2 whole minion waves.
I just realized every single person on BTG has some kind of stacking quest. Whether you look at it or not.
if you include Diablo's baseline and I guess technically his level 4 stacks before it gives you souls. So you are correct here with Arcana getting flipped, but the silence does not land, and now 619 is in a rough position.
You gotta be careful here. 619 might be too far, and Ethernal stuff doesn't go to the body blocks. Oh my god. Diablo is like, please let me out, please let me escape, please stop this, please stop this, and Team Liquid just destroys it.
They just lost over 12 gems there. That is a huge deal. They don't even have enough for a turn-in anymore. Whereas Liquid, they still have been holding on to all these. As we said earlier, they have 46 gems. They are definitely aiming for that double turn.
Yeah, looking for about 10 to 15 more, and then they'll go for the first turn-in, pick up the rest of the gems on that turn-in from the end while they're moving towards level 10. This is very trademark European Tomb of the Spider Queen. Get that turn in, open up those walls, and then punish once you hit 10, break some forts down, and take a major lead in the game.
Okay, quick amount of harassment, but the silence is just ignored. Spotbly none of that with that Iron Skin. Noctara is really wishing he had some help right now as the Web Weavers, Siege Giants, and 3 members of Team Liquid begin piling into his bottom lane. But right now, BTG seems to be focusing onto the mid lane.
Yeah, he's going to have a hard time just clearing that by itself with 3 people backing it up. He can't even step up and get auto attacks in, or he risks the thought of a death. And actually, Hasselhoff is coming in for a rotation, comes from the back line, does not get the penetrating round he was looking for, so the Locktar does escape. But the main objective, that fort, it's going down.
First fort taken out, but you can see here mid, Web Weaver was already cleared out. Top is weak enough that they should finish that off as well. The question is, How quick is this rotation going to be? How much damage can Team Liquid, if they continue to go aggressive with that level 10, can they get bot lane? They snipe away Hanzo.
That's just a major mistake there from
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, Entomb comes in
He's
too.
gone.
365. Inferno goes through the wall to make sure he has the body block. The Lord Nado even stops Diablo from coming in. But Dancing, why are you taking that unsafe rotation? You just saw 3 people in the bottom lane. You have no idea where they're at, and you walk into the arms of a Leoric.
Here's the question though, is it worse that Dancing did that, or that 365 did it straight afterwards and did the exact same thing? But either way, those were 2 kills, and with that, that is going to be a 7-minute keep coming in from Team Liquid. They have a 2-level lead right now, and they're just going to be able to pull back safely with the Wraithwalk. Inferno, the only one even close to in range. Great escape by Team Liquid, just as level 10 hits by BTG.
Team Liquid just pouring it on here. A 7-minute keep on Tuma Spider Queen is unheard of. Just like we saw on Moscaya Foundry, a 10-minute win with his second protector. Team Liquid just seems to be levels ahead of BTG. Good news for BTG, as they are going to be hitting that level 10, so finally that Horrify comes online. Let's see if they can find a pick.
Iron Skin already dropped. Dragon Arrow is absorbed by the Iron Skin. Blessed Shield looking for the maybe turnaround with the Lord Nado. Trying to catch Gul'dan, but he's able to sneak away thanks to the body block you have Locktar, but he's now in the
bunker. Where's your bunker at, Locktar?
He's holding it.
He's holding it here. The creepy hand is on him and taking his life. It comes out, but it might be too late. There's a Horrify.
We see Leoric dropping low. Can he get away? The oil is there. Yes, he can, but Snowbo's gonna wreck Locktar. He tried to run to the bunker, but there was nothing doing, and he goes down.
Okay, so the bunker was held slightly a little bit too long, but the idea behind it was, okay, let's get them to a point where they're trying to kill off Blaze. They step up, and we can get a Horrify off of it. And it almost worked. It almost got Leoric picked off. Luckily, Leoric was able to sidestep out and get a heal in from Nurok. Team Liquid takes a close fight against BTG, and they get 1. The big news is the follow-up. They get an immediate turn in, and now Webweavers will be pushing middle, top, and bottom.
And in theory, Team Liquid could try and push bot lane and go for the end game here and try and beat their own record in this series. But Team Liquid, they do not take that kind of risk. They move in Entomb being dropped, trying to make the play. Webweaver's pushing in the bot lane as well, but there is a fight happening. Gul'dan taken out. The Lord Nado completely isolating 619, and he's going to go down as well.
Entomb hits Gul'dan, and Gul'dan gets completely picked off. No Horrify for 20 more seconds, couldn't save himself. And Team Liquid turn around and get another pick off on Diablo. It will reset his souls, and he'll be back. But now he's a squishy kitty cat we saw in the early game. Team Liquid will take this 5-man push and run the top lane down with the Webweavers.
Hanzo is at least releasing? I don't know the term for some. Relieving, that's the word I'm looking for. Some of the pressure in the bot lane by clearing out the catapults and the Webweaver down there, so there's not going to be core pressure, but he is going to need to now come back very shortly if he wants to make sure his team doesn't get another lane worth of catapult pressure if this keep goes down.
Yeah, I mean, Hanzo's stopping the nosebleeds in the bottom lane, but Team Liquid's lost a foot, or taking a foot in the top lane. As they push this top side in, take down that turret, get some damage on the gate, take the fort. Look how open this map is for Team Liquid. Everything is red.
Everything is red. There's even still potions in bot lane. That's how little damage Team Liquid have been taking so far. Entomb on 619, but no reaction this time for the kill. They didn't have the right positioning at all, so Team Liquid not going to take the unnecessary risk. They pull back, grab Fountain, and here's the sad part, Trick. BTG still don't have enough gems for a turn-in. They're about to get it with this minion wave, but that's rough, where your opponent get 2 turn-ins and you didn't even have enough gems for 1.
Yeah, that's the side effects of bleeding on that bottom lane, which is what happened there with that Blaze losing so many gems in the early game. BTG stepping up and trying to go for the turn-in now. They are not level 13, so if they do fight, it will be at a talent disadvantage.
LOK trying to turn in his 13 gems. He only needs to get 9, but he's the only one on his team with gems at all. Everyone else has 0. 619, looking for the maybe turnaround, but Sport Billy is not getting caught. Lornado, though, 619 is going to be caught. Ancient Blessings, they focus him down. Dragon Arrow is easily dodged.
Hyperion comes out too, and 619 is dispatched up. Next will be the bunker over onto the Blaze, and boom, with the last auto attack, Hosswab's able to get the kill. Boom, Tetris, as Team Liquid turns around and goes straight for the boss.
Well, the gems were saved on the side of BTG, but this boss is going to be pushing into the already weakened top lane. They're still short of gems themselves, so Team Liquid can't go for the classic boss turn in play here. And Gul'dan really just needs to sneak across the map at this point and get the turn in. You're going to lose your counterplay or your turnaround play. Like, this is a decision you make. You either use the Webweaver to defend the boss, which might be why Team Liquid is delaying a bit here as well, also to get some XP towards level 16. You can use it to either defend the boss, which looks like they are doing, or you could have saved it, believed you could have defended the boss just as 5 once your teammates are back alive, and then use the Web Weavers for the turn-in if you're able to take a fight. But because Team Liquid delayed and got closer to their level 16, the Web Weaver defense makes more sense.
Yeah. Definitely go for the latter of the options, as you want to be able to make sure you have something on the field. Just unfortunate that they had no follow-up to this. This is their one flash in the pan, and it's used for a defensive measure. Team Liquid will be pushing the top lane. The good news is there's no Hyperion for 25 seconds, but if Team Liquid finds a kill and then Hyperion pops up, they can certainly move for core. So BTG has to play careful, poke from afar, and make sure this Keat does not take too much damage, and they do pretty well in defense.
And a lovely cleanup, using the Web Weavers, dropping damage, avoiding Leoric's Entomb. They played that incredibly safely, but like you said, this is their comeback potential. Currently bleeding away onto the front towers of Team Liquid. BTG, they don't need to make something happen, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Moving in, new habits available on plays, but once again, it's going to be Johanna who eats the initial engage. Maybe looks for the turnaround with a flanking Hasselhoff doing huge damage at 365.
Hasselhoff is playing Raynor like it's a jam. Coming from the side, getting the auto attacks in. Locktar attempting to escape here. Drops down some fuel as well. Big, horrifying hits, but Team look at them. They're all healthy.
Bless Shield has already been used, they don't have that, but LLK is just going to die here. The Scroll of Sealing will not secure his fate, actually, but Eternal, he's got the chase going. LLK's on the run, he needs to get to his allies, but Eternal just dropped too much damage, and a kill is acquired.
And it is. Looking over to the stacks right now, 33, 40, 619. All by himself once again. Picked in the bottom lane, and another kill comes in, 12-1. Team Liquid has enough gems for a turn-in, and while they're at it, let's take our opponent's Knight's Camp.
That's, yeah, another Night Camp coming in here. Top lane's weakened. Mid lane is about to be significantly more weakened than it already was. Bot lane is completely open and is beginning to accumulate catapults. Team Liquid don't even need to turn in yet. They're going to try and weaken down the keep, and this can maybe turn the game into a core call with that next Web Weaver turn in.
25 seconds for that big Glorify to come online. Gul'dan needs to land a perfect one, especially on Phoenix to get pull that in, but Team Liquid is just stomping forward. Johanna with the Condemn, pulling 3 in. There's that Lord Nado Blaze. Goes in for the jet propulsion. BTG thinks they have a fight.
619 just eats so much damage. The Dragon Arrow was good, but it was too late with Diablo taken out. That is the main front line. He didn't even get Apocalypse off in that fight.
Diablo still having 50 souls, but still not enough to be tanky, especially at a 3-level deficit. Team Liquid turns around the 2 with the big one. And look at this salvo. Pew, pew, pew as Arcader cleans up 3. A 4th about to fall as well as LLK gets dispatched of, and Team Liquid says, okay, we're done taking heroes. Let's take a core.
I mean, there's no heroes left to take. The only thing left on the map is top keep and this core. And this core just happened to be nearest as Team Liquid just walk it in. And they are going to take game number 2 and a solid 2-0 in the series.
A decisive showing from Team Liquid. A 2-0, which will get them 3 more points, helping set their saw up for next week at BlizzCon as they try to figure out which seed exactly they're going to be in. They're going to enjoy having that victory, and also such a devastating one too. You always want to have those matches where it's like, hey, we want to know where our power level is, and there are some teams that we should be able to dispatch up quickly, and they did that today with BTG.
And it feels good to see Team Liquid performing this well. We had our concerns on day number 1 after that match versus Miracle, but they played so well in game number 1. But then game number 2 was a little bit shaky. Everyone was like, are Team Liquid going to begin to fall back into that same pattern we saw at Western Clash? I mean, so far from the matches we've seen against Gen G, against BTG now, the answers are pretty clear no.
One thing that's really standing out for me is watching Hasselhoff come in for flanks with Raynor there like he was a Jaina.
Great.
Look, usually you have those where you come in, you drop down a Cone of Cold, you get the Ring of Frost, you blow up the back line, but he's coming in with a Raynor and he has a might of a Hyperion behind him. That was pretty impressive to watch, and I wonder if he can pull that off against stronger teams, but still, great to see that confidence.
It was super great to see. It's super great to see how well this team is playing. And to talk to Hasselhoff, we're sending you over to the stage for an interview from Kevin Michael Johnson.
That's right, I'm standing here with Hasselhoff's flex player from Team Liquid. Congratulations on your performance there in that last match. And of course, in the group stage, you guys have had a incredibly solid performance against some remarkable teams. How are you feeling about your team's play right now?
Obviously pretty good. On day 1, when the first match against Miracle was very, very close, I think we should have tied them 1-1. But on the second day, we redeemed ourselves, winning a map against Gen G, and the rest of the group we won very cleanly. So yeah, we feel good, and we actually played good as well.
Yeah, tell me about that victory over Gen G there. What do you think made the difference there? Was it draft strategies? Was it actual execution, or a combination of all of it? What was it for you guys?
So the game went all the way to level 20 on Tomb. It was like a very long game and very even throughout the game. And yeah, the small leads that we were able to get, we actually pushed it to the limit. And yeah, we won the decising team fights, right? We got some very good sleeps into Ring of Frost, and then we managed to beat them.
Awesome. That was really awesome to watch. I really enjoyed checking it out. I wish we could have broadcasted it for the stream here as well. Now, I know in the pre-interviews you talked a lot about how you felt your performance at Western Clash was a bit disappointing. And I want you to share a little bit of your thoughts there. How has your team adjusted since that performance? And what is your mentality change going into BlizzCon right now?
Yeah, let's be honest, the Western Clash performance was a disaster. Like, we were very, very unhappy about that. We changed some things, and so far it's proven that it works out for us much better than before. And yeah, it was very important for us that we have a clean group stage. I think we did a pretty good job overall. We were aiming for a second seed. I think there's still a possibility for a tiebreaker, but yeah, most likely we end up third, and then we play against the second of Group B. And yeah, I'm just very hyped that we made it to main stage of BlizzCon, obviously.
Awesome, likewise. And I know, Hasu, for you in particular, this has been a long road to get to this BlizzCon stage. You've been here since the beginning. You've been playing for such a long time. I want to hear a little bit about what this means for you personally, and especially now with this strong sense of confidence and the win-off of Gen G and all of that. What does this BlizzCon experience mean to you in particular?
I mean, so far, it's been great to be here. And yeah, as you said, it's a very long road, actually 3 years in Heroes, and before that in StarCraft and Warcraft, I didn't manage to go to a BlizzCon either. So yeah, finally making it just feels great, and this is what we worked for. Like, we are here to perform, and we're on a good track, but let's take it step by step.
Well, man, I got to say, it's been an honor watching you. I've been watching you all along that way, and it's a privilege to interview as well. Congratulations. I'm excited to see you on that stage.
Thank you.
All right. That's it from me. Back to you guys.
So much, Kevin and Hasuabs, and like Kevin was alluding to, 15 years ago, Hasuabs joined Mouse Sports playing Warcraft 3. He's been trying all this time to get to the BlizzCon stage, and now he is going to be there playing on the BlizzCon stage. Just as a StarCraft fan, man, like, it's a huge honor for me to get to talk to him. Like, I'm so excited that he's going.
I had to drive him around back then because he didn't have a driver's license.
Really?
Yeah, there was some of the tournaments on Mouse Sports when I was the coach on Warcraft 3. I had to drive them to Denmark, and it was actually really funny because his parents would not just simply hand him over. We needed to meet them first because they wanted to double check that whoever is driving the car, whoever is going with them, was actually a reliable person.
Then it must be just even for you to see him getting there.
Yeah, of
something
course.
Special.
Yeah, like back then, starting all of that, the fact alone that he is still here as a player, that he went through all of this and never really just like quit esports but continued down that path, is super fun to see. And seeing him now finally coming to BlizzCon is incredibly awesome. Like, it's really fun to see, and talking to him behind the scenes is always amazing. So I can't wait to see him on the BlizzCon stage.
Yeah, and a previous esports pro himself, I'm sure you can allude to that feeling of what it means to get to play on that stage.
Yeah, and I think, you know, much like for Hasuabs and McIntyre and those guys that have been working for a long time, the one thing I look at when I look at Hasu, and I'm so impressed with, like, an absolute awe is, you know, for instance, when I got bodied at the international stage at BlizzCon, it was difficult, and like roster falls apart to think of even building a new team and even attempting to kind of try and reform that and go through the adjustments and the mental just journey you go through in the process of making that happen. And this guy's done it, I mean, it feels like 1,000 times over at this point. And to have that mental strength and be able to make that happen and still keep pushing yourself forward to be the best person you can be, and more importantly, the best player that you can be, is very, very impressive there from Hasu.
Yeah, and Hasu is among many incredible players from Europe, and we're going to see more of them because Team Dignitas is going to be in the next match after the break. They go up against Team Tempest. Don't go anywhere. That's going to be a good one.
They came up for the defense, but LLK is low on health. The orb comes for the turret. He gets back.
Just in time for the explosion, but Hammond also lucky. Ring of Frost catches them. Stay on and listen, buys them a little bit of time, but Locktar is eating so much damage here. He's going to get taken out. Team Liquid, they're going for the end. Get 9, but he's the only one on his team with gems at all. Everyone else has 0. 619, looking for the maybe turnaround, but Sport Billy is not getting caught. Lornado, though, 619 is getting caught. Ancient Blessings, they focus him down. Dragon Arrows easily dodged.
Hyperion comes out too, and 619 is dispatched up. Next will be the bunker over onto the Blaze, and boom, with the last auto attack, Hasuab's able to get the kill. And Goldan needs to land a perfect one, especially off Pink if he can pull that in, but Team Liquid is just stomping forward. Johanna with the condemn, pulling 3 in. There's that Lord NATO. Blaze goes in for the jet propulsion. BTG thinks they have a fight.
619 just eats so much damage. The Dragon Arrow was good, but it was too late with Diablo taken out. That is the main front line. He didn't even get Apocalypse off in that fight.
Diablo still having 50 souls, but still not enough to be tanky, especially at a 3-level deficit. Team Liquid turns around and two with the big one. And look at this salvo. Pew, pew, pew as Arcader cleans up 3. A 4th about to fall as well as LLK gets dispatched of. And Team Liquid says, okay, we're done taking heroes. Let's take a core.
I mean, there's no heroes left.